Section 3.3, registering your business with the state. You've met with the business advisors, the CPA, the tax attorney, the insurance guy, even a business advisor. You've formulated what type of structure you're going to use as a business. You have a roadmap going forward. Now we're getting a little bit more activity on moving those ideas from paper to reality. You're about to make your business legally recognized by your state. Now, many people think registering a business is difficult, but in most states it's actually very straightforward if you know what to expect. Keep in mind, this isn't the same as getting a business license or a tax ID. This is just the foundational step of forming your legal business entity with the Secretary of State or the equivalent agency. Filing your legal entity with the state is simpler than most people think. But let's clear up some common confusion about to whom this step applies. First, this step does not apply to sole proprietorships. Sole proprietorships aren't separate legal entities. They're considered non-entities by the IRS. So if you're operating under your own name and not hiring employees, you technically don't need to file anything with the state beyond a local business license or DBA, doing business as. But you're still personally liable for everything the business does, so keep that in mind. Partnerships, on the other hand, are trickier. A general partnership can be formed informally, even verbally, but that's rarely a good idea. At a minimum, you and your partner should draft a partnership agreement, and in some states, you may need to register a DBA, doing business as, or certificate of partnership. If you want liability, protection, or tax flexibility, however, consider registering as a multi-member LLC instead. This gives you the partnership legal standing and formal protection. Now, if you're forming an LLC or corporation, the filing process involves a few key steps. You'll first want to check that your desired business name is available. Hopefully you've done this in many steps before this, like we've talked about in previous videos. Usually you'll find this on your state's Secretary of State website. Once that's confirmed, you'll either file the Articles of Organization for an LLC or the Articles of Incorporation for a corporation. These are standard forms that capture your business name, address, registered agent, and ownership structure. The filing fees vary by state, but for most LLCs you're looking at somewhere between $50 and $300. Some states also charge annual report fees or franchise taxes, so be sure to check your Secretary of State website or ask your attorney to confirm your specific requirements. Once your paperwork is approved, you want to save that paperwork that's produced by the state. It can take anywhere from 1 to 10 business days. But you want to save that because you're going to use that as your officially recognized confirmation of the state of being a legal entity. This is when you can take those documents and open a bank account, apply for an EIN, and start doing business in a more protected, structured way. At this point, I wouldn't mind mentioning that you should ask your attorney, your CPA, the person that's helping you form your business initially, in what state you want to file. You have the option of filing in other states like Delaware, Wyoming. A lot of people choose those options because they're very business friendly. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. Now, to make your filing process efficient and accurate, it helps to prepare a few basics in advance. Your business name, the mailing address, and ownership details. But let's walk through two things that tend to trip people up: the address and what's called the registered agent. First, the address. Yes, in the early stages, it's common to work from home, but that doesn't mean your home address should be on public business records. When you file your articles of organization or incorporation, your business address often becomes publicly searchable. That means anyone, marketers, spammers, clients, can look it up. If privacy matters to you, or if you just want to really keep business and personal life that far apart, look into using a virtual business address or a commercial mail receiving service. But of course, if you are comfortable using your home address, you certainly can do that. You can also change it in the future if you need to. Now, the registered agent. Every LLC, every corporation is legally required to have a registered agent. This is the official point of contact for receiving legal documents, including tax forms, lawsuits, or state notices. It must be a real person or a company with a physical address in the state where you're registered, and they must be available during business hours. Now, while you can list yourself as the registered agent, it's often better to use a registered agent service. This is a third party, especially if you plan to travel, you're going to move, or you don't want your home address on file. They typically cost between $100, $150, maybe even $200 a year, but they do add a layer of professionalism and privacy.